One of the jurors on your case is now having a tough time during jury deliberations and reaching a verdict. He wants to go ahead and call a family member in order to help him decide which way to go on your particular case. He wants to make a lifeline call. Can he do that? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a moment as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. The answer is no, he cannot make a lifeline call. No, he cannot ask a friend or family member for help in reaching a verdict in your particular case. This isn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. This isn't Shark Tank, where now the entrepreneur is going to go ahead and go outside and make a phone call to their trusted advisor and say, hey, what should I do? I'm now being given this offer. What should I do? I'm not sure. Even though this particular juror may have questions and may not know what to do, this juror has an obligation to discuss his concerns with the other 5 jurors. He has an obligation to talk to them and only them. In fact, the judge will tell the jury, not only when they go back to deliberate to decide whether you're entitled to a verdict in your favor, he will say, under no circumstances are you to discuss this case with anybody outside of this courtroom. Nobody. Not friends, not family, not relatives, nobody. You want to know why? It's because everybody's got an opinion. It's because those friends, family members, and relatives were not in court listening to the evidence. They weren't in court listening to the testimony. They were not in court listening to the opening and closing arguments. They were not in court listening to the judge's legal instructions about how the law applies in this particular case. And because of that, if now this particular juror were to pick up the phone and say, hey, John, listen, I'm having trouble deciding whether this injured patient is entitled to receive money, now this person is at a complete disadvantage. They don't know what the facts are. They don't know what the issues are. They don't know if this person really is entitled to receive a verdict in their favor. They don't know whether the doctor was careless. They didn't see the doctor's demeanor when he was cross-examined. They didn't see us destroy their medical expert. And because they weren't involved and they know nothing about what's going on with the case, it would be impossible for them to give an educated answer about what should be done. Besides, the jurors are supposed to use their common sense. They're supposed to collectively come to a decision. They're supposed to be able to talk to each other and say, hey, listen, this is what I think, here's why. And now that juror has the ability to say, okay, I agree with that, or no, I don't agree with that, and here's why. And now they discuss the issues amongst themselves in the jury room. You see, we as attorneys and the judge, we don't participate. There's no closed-circuit TV. We don't have audio or video to show us exactly what they're doing, what they're thinking, what their thought processes are. So all we know is that we're sitting in the courtroom or we're walking in the hallway. We don't know what goes on behind the jury room's closed door. None of us do. Only when they tell us that they've reached a verdict do we understand exactly what they were thinking, or at least think we do. So let's go back to the title of this video. One of the jurors wants to make a lifeline call, like you see on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like you see on Shark Tank, where an entrepreneur is offered something really great, but they're unsure and they don't know what to do. Hey, can I go out and call my trusted advisor? Can I call my wife? Can I call my husband? Yeah, in those TV shows, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. But in jury deliberations, no, you can't. You can't get information from outside sources because they're going to give you an opinion that could be 100% wrong. And now that's going to influence you, and you may influence the other jurors. And now you have outside sources, outside forces that are now influencing your actual decision and the jury verdict. So the ultimate answer is no, you cannot make that lifeline call. The juror is prohibited from doing so. By the way, you should know that if the juror disregards the judge's instructions and goes ahead and makes that lifeline call and asks for help, the other jurors have an obligation. They've made a promise to the attorneys that yes, if you find that any of the other jurors are not following the judge's law, judge's instructions, that they are to notify the court immediately to tell them what's going on. So they self-police themselves. That's how we know whether or not one of the jurors in their presence has done something that they should not have done. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you because this comes up from time to time where one of the jurors has questions. They don't know how to answer the verdict sheet, and now they don't want to rely on the other jurors. They want somebody they trust, a family member or a close friend, to help them make that decision. You know, I understand you're watching this video because you likely have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit, but haven't done so yet because you still have questions that need to be answered, then what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.